Welcome to the deep dive. So you shared some really fascinating material with us recently, all pointing towards, well, a shift in how we think about achieving financial freedom.
Yeah, it seems like there's this move away from that constant pressure, the hustle culture we hear so much about.
Exactly. And towards something called the alignment approach. We've been digging into these excerpts you sent, From Hustle to Alignment, the new path to financial freedom.
Right.
And our goal today, really, is to get to the heart of this shift. We want to understand what this alignment thing actually means for, building financial well-being.
Getting those key insights, the actionable stuff.
Yes, the takeaways that give you that quick but solid understanding you're after.
Okay, so for ages, the main story has been that constant grind, hasn't it? Rise and grind, no days off.
Yeah, sleep when you're dead, that whole vibe.
That was definitely the dominant narrative.
For sure. It felt like you just had to be sacrificing everything, running yourself ragged just for a shot at getting ahead financially.
But the big question popping up now is that relentless hustle, is it really the best way?
Or is there maybe a smarter way, dare I say, more enjoyable path we've kind of missed?
That's exactly why this change is so interesting. The material you shared really doesn't pull punches about the downsides of that old way. We're talking a serious burnout epidemic.
Okay, let's unpack that a bit. The excerpts, they detail some pretty heavy consequences, don't they? It's not just, like, feeling tired.
No, not at all. It's chronic burnout affecting mental and physical health. Deep stuff.
And relationships, too.
Absolutely. Your sources mention personal relationships taking a big hit, which, well, it makes sense if work is always number one.
Yeah, totally.
And then there's creativity, problem solving. They actually go down. You'd think more hours means better ideas, but fatigue.
Cognitive fatigue.
Right.
And it's almost weird, but the text suggests you can end up being less productive overall, even with more hours logged.
Exactly. That's the diminishing returns thing. Each extra hour gives you less and less back. It's like that quote from Dr. Emma Seppele at Stanford.
Oh, yeah. What was that?
The idea that burnout is the price we must pay for success is a delusion. Pretty powerful.
It really is. Makes you question that whole equation. And the knock-on effects sound rough, too, like decision fatigue leading to bad money choices.
Yeah.
Kind of ironic.
Isn't it? And you get this tunnel vision. You're so deep in the grind, you might miss a great opportunity right next to you. Plus, it's hard to pivot, even if something's not working, because you've poured so much sheer effort in.
And the health issues. That's a really sobering point. Pushing yourself like that can lead to real problems, expensive problems, down the road.
Yeah, and maybe the saddest part is losing the passion for what you do. That constant pressure just squeezes the joy out of it.
It really paints a picture of something unsustainable. And that story from Sarah Johnson, the ex-Wall Street exec.
Oh, yeah. Her account really drives it home. Huge financial success, sure. But the cost. Her health, her marriage, her sense of purpose, gone.
What was her quote? I spent 15 years chasing success through hustle.
I made millions and lost my health, my marriage, and ultimately my purpose. The system is broken at this whack.
It really makes you stop and think. Okay, so if hustle culture is so flawed, what's this alignment alternative the sources talk about?
Right, this is where it gets really interesting. The alignment alternative is presented as a paradigm shift. Instead of just brute force conscious effort, it's about working smarter by tapping into your subconscious mind.
The subconscious. Okay, let's get into that. The material said our conscious mind is only a tiny fraction of the picture.
That's the idea, like maybe 5% conscious awareness, the other 95%. That's the subconscious, just constantly processing, connecting dots, solving problems behind the scenes.
95%, that's massive. So how does that actually show up? The sources mentioned those aha moments.
Exactly. Ideas hitting you in the shower or when you're out for a walk or just as you wake up. That's often your subconscious delivering the goods after chewing on something.
Right. And it seems some super successful people kind of got this intuitively.
Yeah.
Like Warren Buffett just thinking.
Yeah. Spending, 80% of his time reading and thinking? And Bill Gates with his think weeks.
Google's 20% time, too.
Right. And Jeff Bezos prioritizing sleep for better decisions. The point is, their success isn't despite this downtime, it's often because of it. They're making space for that subconscious processing. They found alignment, maybe without even calling it that.
So how would you define alignment, then, based on the sources?
They describe it as harmony between your goals, what you're actually doing, and what your subconscious believes. It's the opposite of that constant uphill battle feeling from hustle.
More like going with the flow instead of fighting the current.
Exactly, moving with a natural current.
And what are the signs? How would you know if you're operating from alignment?
The material lists a few things, like work actually energizes you instead of draining you.
Okay.
Solutions seem to pop up more easily. Opportunities kind of find you. Your gut feelings about decisions turn out to be right more often.
Hmm. Interesting.
And maybe the big one. Money flows from unexpected places.
Yeah.
Progress happens with less sheer effort, less strain. It's moving from force to flow.
It sounds, well, almost too good to be true compared to the grind narrative, which is why it's such a shift. The text really hammers home that this isn't just about tactics, right? It's deeper.
Totally. It's mindset. It's that internal programming.
So how do you actually cultivate this alignment? The sources bring up Billionaire Brain Wave as an example.
Right. And they position it not just as another strategy like, a new marketing trick. It's framed as a system for reprogramming your subconscious relationship with money, with abundance itself.
Okay, Billionaire Brain Wave. So it's not just thinking positive thoughts. What's the mechanism?
Yeah, it seems to go deeper. The material breaks it down. Identifying and dissolving limiting money beliefs is a big one. Activating your brain's natural problem-solving modes, aligning your conscious goals with those subconscious patterns we talked about, and strengthening your intuition, building these wealth-associated neural pathways, like paving mental roads towards financial success.
So it's really working on the internal operating system first, before focusing only on the external actions.
That's the core idea, because your subconscious beliefs ultimately dictate how effective those external actions will even be. The text even mentions the neuroscience, how our money reality often stems from patterns set way back in childhood.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
We all carry that baggage, don't we? And it mentioned brain waves.
Yeah.
Theta, alpha, theta, delta.
Yeah.
How do they fit in?
Right. Those are different brain states. Beta is normal waking thought. Alpha is relaxed, good for learning. Delta is deep sleep.
Wow.
Theta. Theta is the interesting one.
Okay.
Theta is that state of deep meditation, REM sleep. It's seen as the gateway to the subconscious. Think of it like beta is your normal radio station, but theta is a special frequency where the subconscious is more open to suggestion, to reprogramming.
And Billionaire Brain Wave supposedly uses specific frequencies to help you access that theta state.
That's the claim. Using calibrated audio frequencies to help users get into theta more easily, making it easier to plant those new, empowering beliefs about wealth, bypassing the conscious mind's usual defenses.
Wow, that is fascinating stuff. And the sources shared some real-world stories, right? People who've used this approach. Michael R., the startup founder.
Yeah, his story was pretty stark. 90-hour weeks, barely scraping by. Then after 3 months using Billionaire Brain Wave, he apparently restructured his business around his actual strengths.
And the result?
Tripled income, halved work hours. That's a serious shift from just working harder. That's alignment in action.
Then there was Jennifer T., the financial analyst, hitting a wall.
Right, hitting those income plateaus despite putting in the effort. Her story seems to be about tackling hidden self-sabotage patterns.
And she saw results.
Apparently, yes.
Yeah.
2 promotions, a 70% salary jump within 6 months after addressing those subconscious blocks via the program.
That's significant. And David K., the real estate investor, he was doing cold calls.
Yeah, forcing those cold calls, getting minimal results. His shift was from that forced grind to opportunities seemingly coming to him.
How so?
By leaning into alignment, he started finding better properties, better partnerships more naturally. His portfolio apparently grew more in that past year than the previous 5 years of hustling. Less effort, more results. You must have found that striking too.
Absolutely. Those are dramatic turnarounds. But it's not about getting lazy, is it? It's redirecting ambition.
Exactly. It's channeling that drive, that ambition, but in a smarter way that works with your internal wiring, with that huge subconscious power, instead of fighting against it.
Okay, so for someone listening thinking, all right, this alignment thing sounds compelling. How do I actually start moving towards it? Your sources laid out 4 steps. Let's start with number 1. Consciousness before strategy. What's that mean practically?
Okay, so this first one is basically hitting pause before you grab the next how-to guide. It's about looking inward first.
At your relationship with money.
Exactly. Asking yourself some real questions, like, what beliefs about money did I pick up growing up? How do I feel emotionally about big money? What are my unconscious thoughts about wealthy people? Do I have some kind of internal thermostat, a financial ceiling I keep bumping up against?
Yeah.
The sources mention programs like Billionaire Brain Wave offer structured ways to dig into this stuff. Think about it. Ever felt like there's an invisible barrier holding you back? That's the kind of thing this step addresses.
That internal check-in feels really key.
Yeah.
Okay, step 2. Create cognitive space. This seems like the total opposite of hustle culture's always be on mantra.
It absolutely is. Alignment needs room to breathe, basically. Time for your brain to process things subconsciously.
So what does that look like?
Well, the materials suggest things like actually scheduling thinking time. No phone, no email, just space.
Okay.
Daily meditation or mindfulness, even just a few minutes. Getting enough sleep seriously, like 7-9 hours.
Prioritizing sleep, right?
Yeah. Movement that gets you in a flow state. Walking, swimming, yoga, whatever works. And just cutting back on the constant information fire hose. These aren't luxuries, the sources argue. They're essential for optimizing your brain for wealth creation.
It's like needing to slow down to actually speed up in the bigger picture.
Precisely.
Okay. Step 3. Follow energy, not just logic. Now, this feels different from a lot of standard financial advice, which is usually very analytical.
It is a bit different, yeah. Logic is important, obviously. But this step says don't ignore your gut feelings, your intuition, your energy levels.
So pay attention to what feels right.
Kind of. Notice what activities or opportunities genuinely excite you versus those that feel like a total drag. Listen to those intuitive nudges about investments or projects. Even notice physical sensations. Does a certain decision make you feel tense or expansive? The idea is to build your strategy around things that align with your natural strengths and interests, because that's where sustainable energy and success usually lie.
That makes a lot of sense. If you hate what you're doing, it's hard to stick with it long term. Okay, final step. Implementation through integration. How does that work?
So this is about bridging the gap, taking those internal shifts, the mindset changes, the new beliefs, and making them stick in the real world.
Getting tangible results.
Exactly. So programs like Billionaire Brain Wave, according to the sources, usually involve things like consistent daily sessions, often audio for that subconscious reprogramming.
Okay, consistency.
Plus, practical exercises to help you apply the internal changes to your actual actions and decisions. Often there's a community for support too.
That helps.
And regular check-ins to make sure you're staying aligned. And this is important, celebrating the wins along the way. It reinforces those new pathways. It's an ongoing integration process.
Okay, so wrapping this all up, we've journeyed from this, well, often damaging hustle culture
Yeah, that unsustainable grind.
to this idea of alignment.
Yeah.
A more effective, more sustainable, maybe just more human way to approach financial goals based on the material you brought in.
Exactly. And the sources definitely point to methods like Billionaire Brain Wave as being part of this evolution, trying to use neuroscience to help people build wealth without burning out.
And the upside isn't just the money, is it? It's having the energy, the health, the presence to actually enjoy whatever abundance you create.
That's the ultimate goal, right? Genuine wealth, not just a big bank balance and exhaustion.
So maybe a final thought for everyone listening, stemming from all this. In your own life, your own financial journey, are you currently working with your natural flow, your subconscious power? Or are you maybe pushing against it?
That's a powerful question.
And what might open up if you started exploring that deeper connection within yourself? Are you ready to see what that potential holds for your financial freedom? And really, your overall well-being? Definitely something to chew on.